Batman, the Caped Crusader, the one superhero that has no superpowers. Well, other than money. I guess it's honorable that he fights crime with his money and free time. Let's face it, if most of us were rich, we would just buy the RMCs. All the RMCs. Just a park full of RMCs. I would also probably buy Skyrush just to tear it down. Anyway, back to Batman. Up until 1992, nobody named coasters after comic book characters. Nowadays, Six Flags is trying to make up for lost time. I don't think they realize they can use anything else, so when they do add new rides, looking at you, Slim Basul, it's just Batman and all his friends and foes, all the time. But it's not just Six Flags that's guilty of this. There are 19 parks that have or had a Batman coaster, so let's round them up and count them down. This is Batman versus Batman versus Batman versus... I don't want to do this again. Let's go see what ElToroRyan is up to.
For those of you who are unfamiliar, a block is a section of the ride that only one train...
Nope, okay, I'm switching back to Batman. Number 10. Batman at Furuvik, Mambo Focus Park, and Funland. Buckle up for this one, it's quite the ride. And I'm not even talking about the ride itself, just the history of this thing. It's a Fabry spinning mouse, moving around 3 different parks, including Malmo Focus Park in Sweden twice, all between 2006 and 2021. At each stop, it had full-on Batman theming. There are characters in the cars, the Batman logo above the ride. The station even has some sweet Batman art all over it. Burning question, did they actually buy the rights to do this? Maybe, probably, maybe not, who knows. It seems like this thing is on the run to avoid the copyright police. Also, side note about Furuvik, this is the park where the chimpanzee was collecting stones and throwing them at park guests. That sounds like a job for Batman. Good thing they were keeping him nearby. Number 9. Spinning Batman at Beijing Shaixingjian Amusement Park in China. This one doesn't actually reference our beloved Dark Knight. In this case, the Batman is actually a monster. A true Batman. And there he is, in all his freakiness, standing on top of the ride. This is some kind of suspended wild mouse. One side of the 4-person car facing forward, one side backward, and the ride looks terrible. Also, it's called Spinning Batman, but the cars don't even spin, so that's some kind of insanity that I can't explain. You also pass through this tunnel, and that's a whole lot of nope. Lucky for us, this was only open for 3 years, between 2008 and 2010, and the Spinning Batman spins no more. Not that it ever span in the first place, but you know what I mean. Number 8. Batman the Escape at Six Flags Astroworld. This didn't start off as Batman. It opened at Magic Mountain in 1986 as Shockwave, spent some time at Great Adventure, and they finally spat out this intimate stand-up, landing at Astroworld, where it would stay for 12 years. By 1993, Six Flags was on an all-out Batman kick, and this would have a Batcave and 100 special effects. As per usual with Six Flags, its Batcave theming was axed after 5 years. Contrary to its name, Batman was stuck at Astroworld until the park shut down, finally escaping to Darien Lake, where they took a look and said, "Look, I know we're Darien Lake. Six Flags is about to sell us and we need help. But an old intimate stand-up? No thanks." This sat there for 12 years and was sold for scrap in 2018. Number 7. Batman the Ride at Six Flags Mexico. When all your siblings turn 16 and your parents get them a nice new car, and when it's finally your turn and you end up with a tricycle, you know you're the black sheep of the family.
I asked for a...
Invert.
I got a...
SLC.
How's that for being born under a bad sign?
All the other Six Flags parks got those sleek B&M inverts, and Mexico ended up with an SLC. What a slap in the face. It wasn't even early on. This happened in 2000. Six Flags wasn't exactly pinching pennies in 2000. In fact, they were spending like they thought they were Bruce Wayne himself. But unlike our Caped Crusader, they cheaped out on this one. I don't know how much more expensive a B&M was, but apparently it was a deal breaker. Okay, maybe B&M was busy and they couldn't do work in Mexico, but that ruins my jokes, so I prefer to ignore it. Six Flags did this park dirty. It doesn't even deserve that iconic name. It's like asking mom to go get some Batman the Ride, but she tells you, "We got Batman the Ride at home." Sad. Number 6. Batman the Ride at Six Flags Fiesta Texas and Discovery Kingdom. Just to confuse everyone more than they already were, Six Flags took the parks that didn't already have a Batman invert and plopped the name on something else. But it kinda makes sense. When this opened at Fiesta Texas in 2015, Six Flags knew this would be their next great clone. The Batman inverts spread like wildfire in the 90s, and they were poised to pepper all their parks with these brand new SNS free spins. And they did. Oh wow, they did. But they couldn't name them all Batman. They seemed to like the Joker name, except for Discovery Kingdom that already had a Joker, so they used Batman. But Fiesta Texas used Batman, even though they already had a Batman named Goliath. Confused yet?
Batman?
No, he's a...
Goliath.
Batman's just
Goliath.
It's not Batman.
Anyway, these are good rides, just short and polarizing. Some people hate them with a hot passion, like this guy. But he also likes Washington's football team, whatever they're called now, so what does he know? Number 5. Batman the Dark Knight at Six Flags New England. Just like Six Flags Mexico, New England never got their Batman invert in the 90s. They also got a stupid SLC, so when they got a B&M Flawless in 2002, they couldn't pass up the chance to name it after Batman's coolest nickname. When the Dark Knight movie came out in 2008, Six Flags tried to litter some mock rides Wild Mouse around the parks with the same name, The Dark Knight. This included Six Flags New England, but they already had Batman the Dark Knight, so that was renamed Batman the Ride for about 5 minutes. Then, Six Flags realized they never filed the permits to build the ride. The city wouldn't budge, and they tore it all down and sent it to Mexico. The city did what the Joker could never do.
Kill the Batman.
And the B&M Flawless got to keep its name. Number 4. Batman and Robin the Chiller at Six Flags Great Adventure. By 1997, Great Adventure already had a Batman coaster, but that didn't stop them from adding another one, along with his trusty sidekick, Robin. This was a Premier Rides dual launch coaster. Batman with a top hat, Robin with a cobra roll, and this would go through its course, forward and backward. The Chiller was supposed to be a reference to Mr. Freeze, the bad guy in the new film Batman and Robin, where George Clooney battled a very bald Arnold Schwarzenegger. This was an awesome concept, but like the movie at the box office, it was pretty much broken from the start. Chiller was supposed to be Arnie, but in reality, it was just describing the Batman side of the track. Just chillin', not operating. While Robin was trying to keep the ride alive, the Batman side was barely open, and it was closed for the entirety of 2006. That same year, the Robin side had a wheel come loose and damage the ride. After 10 years, it was just too much to handle and the ride was gone, just like the Batman franchise until Christopher Nolan saved it. Number 3. Batman Night Flight at Six Flags Worlds of Adventure. In 2000, Six Flags lost their minds. Well, their minds were already gone. 2000 was just a continuation of the mind losing. They added 4 new coasters to one park, and it wasn't even a big park. It was the old Geauga Lake, renamed Six Flags Ohio for the 2000 season, and one of those coasters was an SLC. But Six Flags Ohio was spared of the dreaded Batman the Ride SLC. Sorry again, Mexico. That was such a dirty trick. But they were a lot nicer to their park in Ohio. Batman Night Flight was a B&M Flawless, a custom design. Go figure. I didn't even know that was possible. Playing off the Batman name, the Dark Knight name, and the fact that a Flawless coaster was kinda supposed to simulate flying. Plus, it rhymes, which is awesome. This park was combined with SeaWorld Ohio to form Worlds of Adventure. That was too much to handle for Six Flags when their House of Cards fell apart, so they sold it to Cedar Fair, who had no right to use the Batman name, so they renamed it Dominator. They were so upset about this, they decided to close the entire park down, but they didn't want to waste this awesome B&M monster, so they moved it to King's Dominion, where you can still ride this today. Number 2. Batman Gotham City Escape at Parque Warner Madrid. Batman escaped Gotham City and wound up in Spain, this being an Intamin LSM launch coaster, and it looks a lot like Velocicoaster. 2 launches, 147 feet tall, 65 miles per hour, 4 inversions, a giant top hat. The world needs more coasters like this, and we're getting them. If they want to clone this Batman, I won't complain. The only sad thing is, like we saw at Six Flags New England, these creative people like to use the Batman name even if they already have a Batman in the park. In 2002, this park opened Batman La Fuga, or in English, Batman the Escape. No, I'm not kidding, it was actually called this. Then in 2017, it was renamed Batman Arkham Asylum. So now that they're getting a shiny new Batman, like Robert Pattinson, the 2002 Batman had to take a hike. Let me see who was Batman in 2002. Well, at that point, I guess it was still George Clooney who killed the whole franchise for 8 years, until this guy saved it. Oops, wrong character. There we go, I knew I could get there. This is now called Shadows of Arkham, pushed off to the shadows of their brand new Intamin. Number 1. Batman the Ride at, well, pretty much everywhere. I don't think the coaster world had ever seen what Six Flags was about to rain down on us in the 90s. It all started at Great America in 1992. Not only the first Bat clone, but also the first time a coaster under the track went upside down. Some people thought this was impossible, but where aerodynamics can't, Batman can. More accurately, B&M can. and this launched their company into the forefront. Everyone wanted an invert, and where Cedar Fair and Busch Gardens were buying big custom models, Six Flags said, hey, you know that Batman coaster? We're gonna need like a dozen of them. Great Adventure, Magic Mountain, St. Louis, Over Georgia, and Over Texas all got one. One of them got away. This was Gambit at Thrill Valley in Japan, but Six Flags was able to reel that in and got it sent over to Six Flags New Orleans for 2003, calling it, of course, Batman the Ride. These only stand 100 feet tall, cover 2,700 feet of track, and have 5 inversions, but these are some of the most intense coasters ever built. To this day, Six Flags doesn't have any inverted coaster that doesn't have this layout. As someone who likes interesting and custom layouts, this is enraging. As someone who understands cutting corners to save a buck, I can respect it. This Batman has to take my #1 spot, because, let's face it, this Batman is the real Batman. All of the other Batmen are just imposters. That's a wrap on Batman. Let me know what you think of this list, and what Batman is your favorite Batman? Michael Keaton, Val Kilmer, George Clooney, Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, yeah right, or Adam West. This is the right answer.
Surrender that gigantic pie.
If you enjoyed this video, please drop a like, and if you're new here and love coasters, please give me a sub. If you like these parody-style videos, I have a playlist with my other episodes. Also, check out my links below for my Discord server, and my second channel where I post copyright-free off-ride footage, and my baseball channel if you love baseball as much as Six Flags loves confusing us with unoriginality. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
At the end of a block segment is a method to stop a train in case the block zone ahead is occupied. This safety system keeps ride vehicles from